Hi everybody, Debbie here with Garden Style. So today I am finally able to get out into the veggie beds and start refreshing them, getting some seeds planted. Had a little delay this past week. We got a surprise snow overnight, and it was 5 or 6 inches of really wet snow, and that caused our greenhouse to collapse at the nursery. So been busy cleaning up after that. And it's all okay. We have cleaned it up since then. We managed to save the plants that were on the inside, but that was quite the surprise to walk in the next day to work and see the greenhouse flat, as you can see in the picture that I have in front of you now. So now I'm showing you the blank spot that is sitting there, and we have a new greenhouse on order. We hopefully will get that back in here in the next 2 to 3 weeks and build a new one. So meanwhile, we've had some really cold temperatures at night. We've had a really weird cold snap that has hit this first week of March. So it's made it very difficult to get outside, and honestly you don't want to be outside because it's been so cold. But today we finally have a break in the weather and I'm taking full advantage, and I figured I would just bring you along as I start to freshen up the veggie beds and get them ready for seeds. And I got to move quickly here. It's already the first week of March, and I'll be planting things today like carrots and radishes, of course lettuce, and numerous other items that you can plant right now here in the cold. Now it's real important you look at the back of your seed packets and see when your last frost date is. And for us here in Zone 8, it's April 1st. So it's a good idea to count back from your last frost date and figure out the exact time that your seeds should go in the ground. And they will give you all that information on the back of the seed packet. So for instance, I'm planting lettuce today, and it only needs 40 to 45 degree temps in the soil. And that's actually temperatures during the day that will help warm the soil. And it doesn't need to be that warm in order for a lettuce to come up. Same with spinach, carrots, radishes, kale. I'm waiting on the broccoli. I usually get broccoli starts rather than planting them by seed. So those, of course, won't be going in probably till the end of this month. Weather permitting, of course. We don't get any strange surprises from Mother Nature. But today, I just thought I would show you what I'm doing to freshen up my garden beds for vegetables. So I started one. Let me flip you around. That's the finished product right there. So it's all ready for seeds. And this one and all the rest of them are raised beds that I'm going to be refreshing today. Now, here in the Northwest, we are very blessed to have Olympic mountain fish compost. And this is something I've had really good luck with in the past, especially with my veggies. As you can see here, it's very high in nitrogen, which is really important, especially for your green leafy veggies. So I always throw in some fresh compost every year. And for my beds here, they're not real low. A lot of times, if you get a lot of rain and stuff, they'll compact down and you just need to add more. And I encourage you to add more anyway, just so you're adding more nutrients to the soil. And at this point, when I start refreshing all these beds, look at that, all kinds of garlic. I got onions coming up already. But by refreshing them, you're not only adding nutrients to the soil, but what I do is I kind of turn the soil over and get air in there. With all the rain that we have, it really compacts them down and makes it difficult for little seedlings to push their way through. So I go through all of these beds and put in a fresh layer of compost, and I mix it as best I can with the original soil that was in there. And lo and behold, it is ready for seeds. So you can go ahead and follow along with me here as I work on this bed to show you the steps that I go through. So here we go. Okay, the seeds are in, and now I gotta throw some deer netting over the top to keep my lovely kitty cat from digging around in the bed. So I'll show you how I do that. Okay, and there you have it. So this is just a real thin sheet of deer netting. And what I used was some old rebar pieces that I had left over when I tore apart some landscaping. So they're coming in handy now as they will help hold that netting in. And it's kind of a rough surface, so I don't think I need anything to like secure the netting down, you know, in case of wind, that kind of thing. But it's just enough to irritate the cat so he'll move on and stay out of my garden beds until my seeds come up. So we'll definitely follow up on this a little later so that you can see the results. But you're probably wondering what type of seeds I actually planted. And let me grab the packets here and I can show you. So I planted some radishes, and this is called Cherry Bell right here. And this is all from Territorial Seed. Good heavens, I can get it to focus. There you go. But you'll notice on the back of most of your seed packets right here, it's going to tell you what the soil temperature should be, like 45 to 80 degrees is what these seeds will need. And that's about what we average now at this time of the year. And of course, days to germination, radishes take no time at all. 4 to 11 days for them to start to sprout. But I will tell you, when you're planting seeds, especially here in the month of March, Mother Nature can certainly give us some surprises. Just like she did this past week. So, just thought I would show you what I do at this time of the year. I really enjoy direct sowing as opposed to starting seeds indoors. It's just easier for me. Some of you may enjoy starting seeds indoors, but that's great. However, if you've got some real tender seedlings like that, just be really careful that you're watching the overnight temperatures before you put them outside. And if you do put them outside, make sure you've got a covering of some sort, either a frost cover. You can cut up milk jugs and cover them up. You know, cloches are another one that you can use. Cloche, I guess is the proper term. But either way, you want to look for frost at night. And these early season veggies that I put in are capable of handling a couple of frosts, although I will cover them. I have, you know, a real thin frost cover that I can slide over the top at night if I feel it's going to freeze. But right now I'm not too concerned. It's so wonderful to see sun today, which is helping to warm the soil. And that's the ticket, is make sure your soil is warm enough. And most of your seed packets on the back will tell you that. So anyway, I planted some Cherry Bell radishes. This is one of my favorite lettuce mixes from Territorial called London Springs lettuce mix. And it's just a nice mixture, so you have a real pretty salad and lots of different flavors. And of course, spinach. And this is called Regiment spinach. And I find this to be, it's like a Savoy spinach. And I just find this to be fantastic when mixed in with other things in a salad. So anyway, that's a start. And the next thing I'm going to plant are carrots. And I've always had really good luck with them at this time of the year. And I'll show you the variety here. These are called, can you see that? Mokum Nantes carrots. But look, they're like all different colors. So that's really fun. And they have a really nice flavor to them. So that's what's getting ready to go into this bed. I've got the fertilizer down. Now I just want to mix it in. We'll get the carrots in and cover it up, and I'll continue on the rest of the beds here. But oh my gosh, look at the sunshine. It feels so good, especially after a week of freezing temps. We've had rain mixed with snow. It's just been kind of miserable. this past week. But I'm seeing signs of spring everywhere. I'm seeing the periwinkle flowers. I'm seeing plum trees and cherry trees starting to blossom out. So whenever you can get a chance to get out in the yard, now is the time to do it and try and get ahead of things. So just a little recap for you. The Biotone seed starter that I used is full of not only really good nutrients to get your seedlings started, but it also has mycorrhizae in it. And those are just little critters that go into the soil, and that actually helps your seedlings take up nutrients even faster than they normally would, let alone giving them the nutrients that they need. So I'm a true believer in putting a seed starter of some sort into the soil before you put your seeds in. Straight up compost is great, but it always helps to give those little seedlings an extra boost once they do sprout. So that's kind of the follow-up to that. And just to let you know, the deer netting that I've put on here is just a real thin sheet, and I will raise it up. I've given myself some room here. I've used old rebar from an old landscaping project that I had, but you can use stakes or, little hooks or anything, just something to keep it in place and keep the wind from blowing it off, and at the same time keep the cats from getting in. And it's just a real light netting. Deer netting is what I'm using at this point. I had a lot left over because we do have an issue with deer coming into the yard, but it's real thin, as you can see. It's just super thin, just like that. But it's just enough to keep the cats, if I can talk. My lips are a little frozen because it's only about 42 degrees out here today. But that definitely helps the kitties from getting in. And you'll notice that I've got old-fashioned metal label markers here, and I reuse them year after year, and they just come in handy, and of course they can put up with the rain here in the Northwest. So that's kind of what I use to help label my seeds. You guys probably have your own system, but just kind of cluing you in as to what I'm doing. And of course I get random onions every year. You think you get them all out, and they're just random. They come up in places, because a lot of times I'll circle my veggie beds with onions or garlic, and that helps keep rabbits and things like that out, just because they don't like the smell. And they're easier to get to if they're sitting on the edges. And that's kind of what I do with all my root crops, like carrots, radishes, anything that is growing underground. I tend to put them on the edges of my raised beds so they're just easier to get to. Now, as these start to come up, of course, with carrots, you always have to thin them out. No matter how careful you are putting the seed in, you always end up with a little extra. But that's okay. Anything that comes up real close, except for my lettuce, I just let them all grow in together, because I'm just cutting the tops off anyway when I'm getting ready to put them in a salad. But there you go. Now we wait. And the radishes will be the first thing to pop their heads through, and the lettuce will probably be next. And then we'll see the spinach and the carrots. So it's all about timing. Just make sure to read your seed packets carefully, and I wish you all the success in the world this coming spring for a bountiful harvest. And there you go. Okay, so there you go. There's my quick rundown on kind of the steps I go through in the vegetable garden. In my next video, I'm definitely going to be covering the perennial beds, so I pray that next week, when I get another chance to get out here, I can take you through the steps and what I do to clean up my perennial beds and get those ready as well. But it's time. If you haven't planted your seeds by now, now's the time to do it, especially here in the Northwest in Zone 8. Get those early season veggies in the ground as soon as you can. I will also be putting in some new seed potatoes this year, along with some onion sets and all those things we have received in the nursery now. So I'm getting excited. I can finally make some progress here in the yard. All right, you guys, of course, if you have any questions or comments, you can put those in the description box down below. If you'd like to get a hold of our monthly newsletters, just go to sunnycrestnursery.com and you can sign up for that. And I will see you next week, hopefully. It looks like it's going to be some decent weather coming up this coming week. I mean, we might actually hit 60. Wow, that would be awesome. Meanwhile, hope you guys are getting your hands dirty out there, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.